This next video was inspired by Desperate Mercenaries. Not exactly those Desperate Mercenaries, but the YouTubers Desperate Mercenaries, who are doing some Malifaux vids, and they did some intro vids on their crews, and I thought that was a really cool idea, so I thought I would do the same with my crews. So thanks Desperate Mercenaries for putting that video together, and let me introduce you to my crews. Okay, so first up, and we're going in chronological order, is Rasputina's Cult of December. This is the first crew I ever bought. Very fun crew. I bought it mainly because I like the idea of the Arcanist faction, and so I bought this crew. Did not buy the box set, so that's why there's no Ice Golem, but you can see that there's virtually everything else from that box set there. Got a Snowstorm in the back, which really helps this crew with its one weakness, which I would say is lack of mobility. This is a slower crew, but it is a medium range, high firepower crew, so if you really like shooting or spell casting en masse, this is the crew to do it with. This crew is great for beginners, and it's also very good for advanced players as well. So this crew is a lot of fun, and that's the Cult of December. Okay, so next up is the Colette Dubois crew. And when I encountered this crew, well, when I first started playing Malifaux, I didn't even know this crew existed. And when I found out about it and saw the models, I knew I had to have this crew. And as it turns out, the playstyle fits 100% perfectly with how I like to play games, which is, you know, don't give me the big gun, don't need the big gun, or I don't need the big beat stick, but I do like to be a little tricky, and if I can beat people with movement, that's exactly how I want to do it. And this crew allows me to do that. So, picked up this crew, crazy amount of fun, very steep learning curve, but incredibly powerful at the high end. The only problem I have with this crew is it is a little bit fragile at times. It has some points where you're a little shaky. Somewhat unforgiving crew if you make too many mistakes. And the main problem I have with it is trying to fit other models that don't fit thematically with the crew. The crew has so much synergy, and it's so powerful with the amount of synergy it has, that you really don't want to stray too much from a core list, and I think a lot of Colette players would agree. That said, this is the crew that I have the most fun with in the entire game, and still my all-time favorite. Okay, so after buying the Rasputina box, I'm sorry, not the box, but the crew, and then the Colette box set, and determining that that was in fact my favorite crew, and it still is, I went by looks, and I saw this Karai crew, and really always wanted a Japanese themed crew for Malifaux. So I went ahead and bought that box set and added up to it. Now, Karai is a lot of fun. Again, here's another crew not really recommended for beginners, but very powerful on the high end. Has some of that legendary Resurrectionist durability, but also some of that Book 2 Master mobility. So, very mobile crew, at least as far as Rezzers go. Actually, I would go so far as to say that they're a mobile crew in general. Kind of medium damage output, more of a melee debuffer crew, but has that trademark Resurrectionist, some durability, and then of course the Spirit Factory. The only drawback really to having the Karai crew is just the sheer amount of models that you need, because she does bring in quite a bit of models, and so you're going to need like 5 of the Station models, which I have. Anyway, very fun crew, not for beginners, kind of a melee spirit-based summoning crew. Okay, I know this is a crowded shot, so sorry about this one. Anyway, so I was 3 crews in, and figured out that 2 out of the 3 crews I had were really not beginner crews, and I wanted another beginner crew so that if I wanted to recruit any friends or even strangers into the game, that I would need something a little simpler. and one of our friends was building guilds, so that was kind of out, at least at the time. So I settled in on this Victoria crew. Now the Victoria crew, again, ideal, one of those crews that's great for beginners, a little tougher than some of the guild crews, but not much synergy to be had except for between the two Victoria models. So other than that, things are pretty straightforward. You've got high damage, some range in this crew, and just a really straightforward kind of get in your face and fight crew. So really good for beginners. This and the Raspy crew is what I use for most of my demos. Okay, so with those crews done, I got into the fluff a bit of the game, and so I started to read the fluff quite a bit, especially Arcanist fluff, and really got into the Ramos characters. So I went ahead and built a Ramos crew. That was the next crew that I built. You can see again, did not go with the box set because really didn't want to do the Steamborg Executioner just yet. I may add him to the crew later. So this crew's still being built. Believe it or not, these spiders have very tiny magnets in them, which allow me to switch into the swarms as necessary. And am picking up some other constructs just so that this crew can be run with a variety of different things. And on the battlefield, I still kind of struggle to figure out this crew. Ramos himself is very much a stand-in-the-back type of master, but very high damage output crew. Really, most of the damage is done in melee or by detonation. Not really a lot of range in this crew. Could be for beginners, maybe for a little bit more advanced beginners. But I'm still working out the details of this crew myself and hoping to play it a bit more. Anyway, this crew I bought mainly for fluff reasons, and so now I have a Ramos crew. Okay, so at this point I figured I was done. 5 crews in, had what I wanted, had my demo crews, and was ready to go. In fact, was running my demo at the SoCal SmackDown, where I played in a tournament one night there at the SmackDown. Had a blast, had a lot of fun, and ended up winning the tournament. And what I ended up winning was this Collodi box, which was great too. Always wanted to play a henchman-led crew and was looking at either Collodi or Lucius, and that decision just became way easier when things got cheaper. Now on the field, Collodi, very maneuverable master, has a lot of different tricks and a lot of different rules, relies on a very large amount of small minions. I added a couple of stitched together really just to the box set, and you can see I have quite a few minions just doing that. This is more of a 1,000 paper cuts type crew. Not terribly impressive in terms of their stats, but really good rules and just a lot of different ways to hit you, except for ranged. So not really recommended for beginners, but a very fun crew to play. And we'll see some more of Collodi as long as I continue to build them. Okay, so that takes us to my latest endeavor, which is a Marcus crew. Marcus was something that I was interested in, but really not a fan of the miniature or some of the Arcanist beasts. So I went with kind of an objective-based, fast-moving, out-of-faction list, except for Miranda, who is a cursed model for me. Can't really get her to do anything. And the Razor Spine Rattler. So, this crew is a lot of fun. Very quick crew. Reasonably good melee. Not really the beat stick type of crew that the Victorias are, but challenging, fast, definitely not without its faults. And that's what I like about the crew, though. A lot of character, a lot of fun. You can see I did Marcus. I kind of tried to paint him like David Bowie from the movie Labyrinth, because that was funny to me, and Labyrinth was on at the time when I was painting it. So that's my last crew. Anyway, just thought I would introduce the crews that I have so far. I'm worried that I will end up buying them all, but that's okay, and playing them against my brother's Nicodem crew and whoever else he builds in the long term. So that's it, and thanks for watching, guys.